Yeah, so since the recording just went suddenly, we'll start things from the beginning, people. So meanwhile, some of the people has joined the meeting again. So I was talking about the insert tab and inserting about a cover page. And there are many cover pages over here. So you can choose any one of those. And if you want to search more, you can go with like more cover pages from office.com, right? Or else you can choose something from here. So I just choose this one. So it's just a predefined cover page. It has been designed for us, right? So we can just replace the content on this cover page as we want. Now, if I choose this picture, I can go to the picture format. I can use the what we call the change picture icon or the tool, and I can click it and I can choose something from this device. So I was selecting this picture and saying insert, right? And as the document title, they have given you the predefined places to type the document title. So I was typing the information and communication technology. Right, and there are some other places to do the document subtitle, but if you don't have a document subtitle, you can take it out. You don't need it. Abstract in the sense, sometimes some documents are expressing what is inside of this document. So if you really have that kind of a need, you can use that abstract. Otherwise, you can take it out. Right, so it's just taking that out. Right, and yeah, they have taken my name automatically since because I have logged in from that particular name. So if you want, you can change it, right, at any time. And if you got a course title, you can type it. If you don't have that, again, you can ignore it, right? So likewise, you can create your cover page, right? So as it says, and if you want, you can manage your cover page by adding some more different items, right? So you can use text boxes to include more details into this, right? You can change the places, right? So since they have designed this within a table, sometimes it will be a little bit hard for you to move things here and there, right? And if you want a blank cover page and if you want to create your own cover page, you can get rid of all these things in the cover page and you can just blindly manage what is there, right? So if you want to create your own cover page like this, right? Later you can highlight it, make it a bigger font, right? And have your own way of right, so later using a particular right, so you can go to the insert and have a text box. Now text box is something that help you to type and move as you want, right? So if I want to say this is by me, so I can give my name over there, right? So can make it a little bit bigger and bolder, right? And place it as the as a document author, right? And if I want to format my this particular text box, I can go to the shape format tab, right, which we are getting once I select a particular text box, and I can choose one of these, right, and I can format as I want, right, and I can manage the content like this. And I can have a simple cover page like this if I want, right? So likewise, you can manage a cover page as you want, right? So we haven't choose any of these. We just take a template and we delete everything and we had our own, right? So likewise, you can manage the cover page. And when it comes to the page breaks, now this will be my first page. If I want to have another blank page, I can have it like this. I can place my cover page contents over here. And yeah, I can have this particular one. So I can type my content, right? I'll simply copy some content from your textbook. So it will be easier for me to manage the content. Right, so let me copy this. Right now, you can see like some of my content has moved up to the previous page, which is up to my cover page, right? So this is something very common when we are working with the contents and the pages. When it has the white space or an empty space in a previous page, the next page stuffs will move into that previous page and fill the space, right? Sometimes this will be very inconvenient, or like it will give us headaches when our contents are moving inside our document here and there, right? Another situation that you can find is like if I make this content into a much bigger font, which I want you to show that it is been penetrated yeah, in different kinds of pages. All right, so let me change the colors of these letters just to indicate you that these contents are from different pages, right? So I'm just changing the colors. I'll keep it as black and I'll make it yeah, let's say purple, right? So different kinds of colors are there. Now look closely. Now, this is something very yeah, oftenly you can see these kind of situations, right? Now when I'm deleting some content over here, like just assume you have created a document and you have formatted it very nicely, but when you are going through the document, you have seen, okay, there are some particular place or some particular part which is not suitable to that particular position. So either you may take it out or delete it out, or you may take that content from there and will paste it to somewhere else, right? So anyhow, let's assume I'm going to take these two lines deleted from this page because it is not necessary over here. Now look closely what happens when I'm deleting this. See, when I delete that, previous page contents are jumped, like the next page contents are jumped into my previous page or the current page. right? It happens in every page. Now you can see, right? So this will give you a very big headache if something like this has happened, because all your formattings, all your alignments will be jeopardized from this kind of situation. So when you are having that, it's better you deal it like this, right? Now assume that you are typing, that you are at the end of the content for this particular page. මේ page එකේ content එක මගේ මෙතනින් ඉවර වෙන්න ඕන. So this content should go to the next page, right? So whenever you need to go to a new page, place the cursor from the place that you go to a new, that you need to go to the new page, and you can go to the insert tab and create a page break, right? Simply this can be done by placing the cursor the place you want and pressing the control key and the enter button together, which gives you the shortcut keys. So once you've done that, it will move to the next page. That content will be moved to the next page. Now see what's happened if I delete something from here. See, earlier it is like this. I'm deleting the selected part. So no content has jumped into my current page from the next, right? So remember, this will be very useful when you are documenting something. When you are at the end of the content for a particular page, make a page break so it won't disturb you when you are dealing some contents or like deleting some contents or like moving some contents from a particular page to somewhere else. The other pages will not, the other page contents will not behave according to your deletion. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes.
Right, great. So let's go to another section. Hold on a minute, people. All right, so then what I'm going to show you is how to deal with the text box further. Right now, I have shown you the place where we can use a text box just by inserting the content into a page. So text box is something which helps us to insert text and move it here and there on a particular page. Now, when we are not using a text box, we are just typing the content like this, right? So we won't be able to move our contents here and there, like you can see, when it is not in a text box, right? So it will help you in many different scenarios, right? It will allow you to like make the page or like divide your page into different kind of segments, or to create some different kinds of columns and rows, right? Even though it helps, you can take the help from a table as well, but text box is much flexible thing, right? So if you type A, B, C, D, and if I make the font bigger inside this, so now I can place this content anywhere I want on my page, right? So when you are typing regularly, you won't be given that kind of a facility. And again, now when we insert a particular table, right? Let's say we are going to insert a small table over here like this, right? So like once we place a table, it will be very hard for us to move the table as we want. Even though we place it somewhere we want, it won't place in the real place that we want. Sometimes it behaves at its will, right? Right? But you can handle the table as you want once you apply this, or once you place this inside a text box. Right? So you can manage. That's nice, Susu.
I made this.
Very nice. Right? You can manage the table and the text box like this. Right? And you can select the table if you want, and you can select the text box if you want. If you want to move the table, instead of moving the table, you can move the text box to the exactly particular place that you want. Right? And you can select the table and do the placements inside the text box. And if you do not want to show the border of the text box, you can simply select the text box and go to the shape formats and go to the shape outline, and you can say no outline. So you won't be seeing any outline of the text box, but still it is there. So you can move it as you want. So it's another way of that we can get use of this text box in our documentations. Right? Okay, people, excuse me for a moment. Right, sorry for that, people. Yeah, Sanoshi, taking out the outline, it can be done like this, Dua. You can select the text box. You should select the text box. Once you select the text box, let me make the table a little bit smaller, so you will be it will be easier for you to understand. Right? So you can select the text box. This is the text box. So once you select it, you will be getting this kind of a tab shape format. go to the shape outline and you can select no outline. So it will take out the outline of the text box. If you want an outline, you can choose any particular color. So it will make it according to the outline, right? To make the outline according to the color that you are selecting, right? If you want to change the size of the outline, you can manage it from here as well. And if you want a particular design, you can choose it like this as well, right? So no outline will take out the outline. So you will see only the table or the content inside it. Still the text box is there. Once you click near the table, you will see the text box. So when you need to move the text box, as you can see now, when I click inside the text box, my outline shows as a dashed line. If I want to move this, I have to click on the border. So it will be a single line. Then I will be given the chance to move it here and there.
Otherwise, it is a dotted line, no?
Yeah, like when it is dotted line on, we won't be able to move it. Because
it's like a background, right?
Yeah, dotted line indicates now we are like working inside the text box, right? So when it is on the straight lines, we can move it here and there. Okay.
I sent you my homework last week.
Yes, people. I went through some of those, like it was done very nicely, right? So I'll go through the others and I will let you know how the things are going to happen, right? And the next one I need to discuss is about this equation and symbols, right? To do that, I'll select everything together and delete things. How we are going to select everything at once? We can use a keyboard shortcut saying Control A, CTRL key, and the A can be pressed, right? So everything, all the content can be selected, and I'm going to delete it, right? And I'm removing the current page, the current cover page from this, right? So it will clear out it. Okay, so then okay, now when it comes to the insert tab, there is something called equations as well as symbols. Now first I move to the equations, right? Now this is something a little bit away from your syllabus, but it's good to know. Now when it comes to the mathematical equations, it will draw you many different symbols and it will place the letters and symbols in many different places in a mathematical equation, right? Like if you can see, if you think about this binomial theory, right, in mathematics, something advanced theory, which actually that I'm not familiar with. But if I'm going to write something like this or type something like this on a plain paper, it's going to give me a very hard time, right? Because it's not that easy to manage the alignment of the text, placement of the text here and there, right? But instead of that, I can use the facility called the equations, and I can click on any of the equations that they are following here, right? And or else I can insert new equation as I want. Right now, if I choose something like this, right now, type in the brackets x plus a and n to the power will be particularly easy, right? Now, typing the sigma character will also be easy because we can find that sigma character from a symbol, right? But again, placing this n at the top and k equals 0 at the bottom and having those things like this will be a little bit harder for you, right? So in that case, we can choose the equations to create any equation that we want. Right, and you can see once we insert an equation, it gives us many different facilities to create our own equation. So if you want to express a fraction, I can take a fraction placement one. So there will be different kinds of placement to indicate a fraction. So you can take one of those. So if you take this, you will be given the chance to type something over here and a chance to type something over here. So it can easily be handled with the help of the equations, right? So it's better you get to know.
Daddy, what did you got the foil design one?
Yeah, Susu, give me a minute.
Is that beautiful?
It is beautiful, Susu. Right, so you can, now it's better you get to know about this so you can assist someone in case if they have the need of typing an equation. I'm pretty sure that you won't be getting that much of need to type an equation, but maybe to your parents, maybe to another teacher, right? Even especially when it comes to the maths teacher, if he's like involving with a particular documentation at school, you can help with this, right? So otherwise he or she may be finding a very hard time of typing the equation on the paper, right? So it will help the mathematical people to manage their equation in the way they want. Okay, so that is regarding the equations. And when it comes to the symbols, now symbols will allow you to insert different kinds of symbols, right? Now, in a very practical way, this will help me when I'm doing my Sinhala typing, right? Because there are some particular letters sometimes which will not appear in the way we are typing on the screen, right? So like sometimes this Sanyaka Duyan, it is a little bit hard to take like this, right? If we type it, maybe Alapili Kali, Papili Kali, samahara velawata ekeka than wala gihilla enna. Right now, recently I got this problem. Now I'm using this Google input tool as well as the software called Pencil to do my Sinhala typing stuff. So when I'm using the Pencil, if I want to type something like the word called view here, right? I had that problem when I'm doing it very recently. So if I type the word view here, right? So yeah, hold on. It's better I get to take the quality. Yeah, this was the font that I was using. So if I'm going to say view here, now this software is very smart because it changed the letters as I want. So I'm just typing WYU.
What do you think, Dad?
Right? So
Daddy,
view
what do you
here,
think?
very nice. So the view here doesn't come like that, right? So if I change this into the lower case, so view here, mata yanse enno thanata yanse enne naha, right? So what I can do is I can get away with my yayan and I can place yanse here using my symbols, right? That is why I was using this. Here I have insert the symbol over here, right? If I do not have the symbol over here, I can take this symbol and I can go for the more symbols. All right, then it will give me the particular places that I can find the Sinhala letters. So from here I can find my own Sinhala font that I need. So I'm using FM Maliti. So from there I can find Yanse, which is over here. Then once I select it, then I can insert it. So once I insert it, you can see it's already there. So those kind of helps can be taken from the help of with this symbol, right? And even if you want to type any particular symbol, like if you want to insert any particular symbol over here, like this bomb over here, right? You can apply it like this. So now it is just a character, like any particular characters like this, right? So likewise, you can insert different kinds of symbols onto your document with the help of the command called symbol. People, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all with the insert tab. Let's move to another tab. So now we got very small stuff to talk about regarding other tabs other than the mail merging. Right now, the things over here, the drawing tab, it is not there in your syllabus, as well as this draw tab was there, like starting from 2017 version, as I remember, right? So this will enable us to like select a particular pen, and if I click and draw, so we will be able to draw things on the Word. Like it's kind of, we are having the facilities of the paint on the Word document, right? But when you are drawing something like this, it will consume a very big amount of graphic processing. So sometimes your document will be stuck if you don't have the enough performance in your computer, right? So just for your information, if you have that tab, you can have some drawings. And when it comes to the designs, these things will help you. The watermark will help you to insert a watermark, right? So if you click on any particular watermark, you can see it is being added to the page as a watermark. Now, if your document is going to have more than one page, they are going to have the watermarks as well, likewise, right? And you can have your own watermark by visiting to this custom watermark command. So once you move there, this particular window is given. You can choose no watermark to get rid of the watermark. If you want, you can have a picture watermark. In that case, you have to select that picture watermark and select and press the select picture, right? So you can go and like choose a picture and then you can insert. Once you press OK, apply and OK, you have to press apply, then OK, right? So you will be seeing a watermark that you can see over here. Right? So it's like when it comes to the watermark, it clearly talks about the watermark, people. Right? So you can choose it like that. Right, and the watermark, the picture watermark will be placed on your pages. And if you want to have any text watermark that you want, like that means any particular name, right? Like if you want to have your name as a watermark, so you can type your name on this particular text box, right? Which will determine the text, and you can say apply, so it will show as a watermark in every page that you are using. And please be sure, people, we use watermark when we need it only, right? We are not using watermark always to say or to express that this is something that we have done, right? Watermarks are some specific things, like we use watermarks.
Sir,
Some companies, yes, Rizwan.
sir, these watermarks can't be removed by others, no?
Yeah, like when the if you are not getting the what we call the document or uh, the PDF kind of a document, they won't be able to take this out. But if you send the original document to someone else, they can go to the same facility and get rid of the watermark, right? But when you print this out, definitely it won't be able to take out, and it will be there all like covering all the places in your sheet, right? And there are places that we use watermarks, like when it comes to the organizations, especially when it comes to the letterheads of them. So they use, sometimes they use their logo, sometimes they use the company name as a watermark. So it will give the assurance to the customers or to the consumers that this particular document has made by this particular organization, right? So that kind of specific things will use watermarks. And when it comes to the lawyers documents, like deeds and these agreements kind of things, they always, they like in most of the times they use that confidential watermark on it, right? If it is a confidential one. And this particular one, the page color, will help you to have a page color onto your page. It will penetrate the entire page and can apply to all the pages on your document. And when you are printing this, be very careful with your printer, because even though you are applying a color to your page, if you want to have the printout as it is, then you have to choose the borderless printing for this kind of printing, right? Otherwise, the printer by default printing the things by adding a margin by itself, right? So if you apply this particular color to the page, and if you take a printout without considering the borderless printing, it will show you a white margin around the page, right? So the borderless printing comes as a facility of the printer, right? Some of the printers is facilitated with the borderless printing, some are not, right? So in that case, you should have a printer which has the borderless printing ability to print your document out without a margin, right? Otherwise, you will be getting a small margin, a white color margin around it. And this particular one, the page borders, will help you to apply a border around the page. So if you choose this box border and simply say okay, so you will be seeing a box border around it. So you can have many different kinds of borders. You can have a border with a shading, you can have a 3D type of border, right, with a different kind of pattern, right? And you can apply. So that border will be there, like indicating the border around the page. And moreover, you will be able to create a custom border as well. When it comes to the custom border, the beautiful thing is, like, you can choose many different colors that you want for your border. As well as, if you want, you can choose any artistic border from here. All right. So now if you want stars around your page, so you can use the stripe of stars and press OK. So you can see there are stars around the page. Right. So it acts as a border, as you can see here. Right. So likewise, you can insert a page border by using the page border command under the design tab. Right, so watermarks, page colors, and page borders are to be learned from the design tab. And from the layout tab, they are talking about these margins, the orientation, the size, and the columns. right? Now, when it comes to the margins, we talked about these margins earlier as well. When we are starting the lesson, we talk about the ruler of a particular page. So this ruler will indicate you the margin area and the typing area, right? This gray area will define where the margin is, right? And the white area will define where you can type. So you can manage the margin by managing this gray color area from the mouse like this, right? So you can customize your margin, or else you can go to the margins and you can choose the custom margins and you can give the specific values that you want from here, right? So there are 4 types of margins, which is top, bottom, left, and right, right? So you can reduce it or you can increase it and change the way you want. Now the units that they are given here is from inches. So when it says 0.5, they are talking about 0.5 inches, right? When you say 0.8, they are talking about 0.8 inches. Right? So likewise, you can change the values and manage a document as you want. Right, so you can see according to changes I have done, some margins are wider, some margins are narrower now. Or else under the margins, there are predefined margin presets. So you can use any one of these as well if you want, right? You can use a narrow margin. You can use a wide one, right? So it will limit the place that you can type. And it's better you worry about these things before you start your document, right? Because these are some things which affects on the content, right? If you increase the margin, these contents sometimes will break into 2 lines when the contents are on 1 line. So which will defer your content on the Word document. As well as when it comes to the orientation, this defines to which side that your document is going to be arranged, right? So there are 2 types of orientations, which is portrait and the landscape. So portrait means the way that you can see the document now, right? And when you landscape it, so it's kind of turning it in 90 degrees, right? So you can choose it like this, right? So it's better you decide about your orientation before you start a work. As well as the size. Now size plays a very vital role when it comes to the documentation, because it is a must that you choose the correct size before you start documentation. Right now by default, Word is getting or Word is selecting the letter paper size or the page sheet size as its default. But in most of the cases, like almost all the cases, we will be able to purchase A4 sheets from the shop. Right now, if you think about it, if you look closely, the dimension about these 2 papers. So letter is having 8.5 inch width and 11 inch of height. Now look at the A4. A4 is having 8.27 of width. Now that means A4 is physically lesser in width comparing to the letter. Letter has 8.5, A4 has 8.27. Right, and as well as if you think about the heights, A4 has 11.69 and the letters, they have 11. So 0.69 kilocan, it's like more than half of an inch, right? So when it comes to the height, it has a considerable amount of difference, Like, so if you design your things on a letter size of a layout, and then if you are printing it to a A4 size sheet, it will give you a little bit white color space at the end of your sheet, right? It is because the paper is big in size than the size that you have chosen, right? So because of that, it's better you choose the correct paper size before you start the particular documentation. So whenever you start the word, and if you start it to do the documentation part, first comes to the layout and set the margins, set the orientation and the size and the columns. I'm going to tell you how the columns are working right after next thing, right? So when it comes to the papers, there are different kinds of papers. So it's better we know about the A4, like the A type of papers. So A4, I think you have seen an A4 paper. So when you fix two A4 papers together, it will give you an A3 size. When you fix two A3 papers together, it will give you the A2 size. And when you fix two A2 size together, it will give you A1. That's how it's work. And when it comes to the columns are going to give you a chance to make different kinds of contents on the same page. It is not flexible as a text box, but still it's giving you a chance to divide your paper, the working area, into several different places, or like several different sectors. Right, so let's see how we are going to do that. Now I'm making the orientation into the portrait because it is the usual way that we are seeing things. And yeah, I'm quickly going to get rid of the page color as well as the watermark. And I'm going to take away the border as well. Okay, now as you can see in my page, I got only one column, right? By default, we are going to have only one column, right? So that is why we are like typing like this, right? From left to right until the paper is done. So if we go to the layout column and we choose the columns and we say 2, look what is happening, right? I'm using bigger fonts. Right, see, first one particular column is filled, then the second particular column is going to be, right? So it's 2 columns on the same page. Now when it comes to the text boxes, we have to place the text boxes to do these kind of things, and I won't be able to continue my content. Content එක පිරීලා ඉවර වෙනකොට මෙයා automatically මෙතන print කරන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. Type වෙන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. But text box does not behave like that. We have to plan the text box and we have to put the contents accordingly. Right? So likewise, you can manage these columns as you want, right? So majorly when the newspapers are being designed, they use these kind of facilities because in the newspapers, they have the column-wise news on the first page. So they have to use this kind of a facility, either this or any particular facility which helps to that particular work, right? So if you want to create more columns, what you're going to do is you can just simply visit to the layout, right? And you can make any particular thing using this column command, right? So if you choose 3, it will be 3 column 1, right? And if you want to choose, like if you want to give your own idea, so you can change this number of columns value over here, so you can increase it, right? And then I have set number of columns are 6. Then I press OK. So see, according to the size of the font, when it divide into more particular columns, it can contain a lesser amount, right? So that is how you are going to create columns inside your document. Okay, people, is that clear? Right. Okay, give me a second, everyone. Okay, so now we are moving to the very last part of the lesson, which is called the mail merge. Right? So before we move into this, let's go through the lesson to get confirmed whether we have done everything as the book says. Right? So let me take you to the lesson. Yeah.
Are you giving the note related to the other parts from?
Which one, Rizwan?
You gave up to word processing. You gave a table, and we wrote up to the user can open or edit.
Yeah. Yes, and from thereafter is on, there are only practicals, Nibuda, so no notes are given for the practicals. But we are about to write the shortcut keys, right? Keyboard shortcut and all these things. Other than that, it's just the practicals. So you have the recording. You can refer the practicals at any time you want. And I think everyone in the room knows how to refer the recordings, right? Is there anyone who does not know how to refer the recordings? If you don't know, just give me a text, so I will show you how the things are going to happen. Right, so we talk about the word processing, we get to know about the interface, and we talk about the page setup we talk about today. We talk about the formattings, and we talk about the paragraph formattings as well, and all these bullets and numberings, and insert in a document, having a shape, insert in a table. Yeah, we talk about those. Yeah, and we work with the tables as well. Yeah, we haven't went with this proofreading. Let's go with that as well. And I think I have shown you how to find and replace the things, right? And the print preview stuff, then the mail merge. Yeah. So before the mail merge, let me go through this print previewing stuff. right? I'll get rid of this. And again, people, once we have this much of columns, how we are going to get rid of those columns if you don't want? You can just simply select the document, right? And come to the layout tab, go to the columns, and you can choose one. That means you can't delete or like get rid of, like there is no option saying no column or no zero column, right? So it's the one column thing that you can have, right? And again, you can apply the column nature into a to a part of your document, right? So like if you select this particular part, then you can go to the columns, and if you say 2, so that particular content, that particular area will be created as a 2-column thing, and these particular things, they act as a 1-column thing, right? So likewise, you can do the things. Okay, now when it comes to the treasurer as well as the this grammar and spelling mistake kind of a thing, so it is there in the review tab, right? So now treasurer will help you to find the synonyms, right? Now if I type a particular word, let's say
No, sir.
yeah, let me increase the size. Right, so let's take a word like information. Let's see whether it's have the synonyms or not. Right, is it still in the columns? Hold on. Yeah, let me get rid of the columns. Right here, I choose the information. You can right click on the information and go to the synonyms as well over here. So there are synonyms, a list of synonyms are given. So it says info, data, materials, evidence, statistics, that is from the dictionary form. And below there is something called treasurers, right? And here in the reviewing tab, there is also the treasurers as well, right? So it doesn't matter which, from where you are going to click that particular command. Once you click that, you will be given a small window. Maybe it will be in your right hand side, maybe it will be a floating window. It will give what kind of words that we can use instead of information, which act as a synonyms, right? So it has different kinds of explanations and different kinds of words that we can use, right? So that is how the treasurers work. So if we want to use any different kinds of word instead of the information, so let's say I want to replace information from the word evidence in this list, there is something called evidence. So what I need to do is I can just simply click this, right? So now, oh, hold on, it won't change the things from here, people, hold on. Yeah, so click in won't give you that. You can say insert, right? So information is replaced with the evidence. And again, if you right click and go to the synonyms, once you click a particular word, thank you, Susu, right, then it changed, right? So if I right click on the information, first I have to select it, people, then right click, go for the synonyms, and if I choose material, it replaces the material. And if you want to replace anything from the treasurers, you have to move to the word that you want, right? And you can click on this small arrowhead, and it has two options called insert and copy. So if you say insert, it's going to insert or like replace, right? If you copy it, then you can paste it anywhere you want, likewise, right? So that is how the treasurer works. And regarding the spelling and grammar, to check that, we have to take some content. Let me take some content for you. Okay, let me make this a little bit bigger. Right, I think you can see there is a red line underneath this etc, the word etc, right? There is a red line underneath, right? It shows you a spelling mistake kind of a thing, right? Now if I take out any letter from here, see, earlier the word special is correct. Now I'm taking out the E of it. Now it doesn't have E inside it. So it underlines me that there is a grammatical mistake. I'm sorry, the spelling mistake inside here. So red underline will give you what you call the spelling mistakes, right? So when you have that kind of a mistake, you can simply right click on that word and it will give you some suggestions over here, right? So you can choose any one of these words accordingly. So it will replace that thing. In case if you really don't want to make this correct, right? Then I can ignore it, right? As well as I can add this word to dictionary. Adding a word to dictionary means my word, like the word software that has been installed into my computer, they get to know this user used this kind of a word, which the spellings are okay according to him, right? So if I use it later, it won't give me any spelling mistake. It won't indicate it as a spelling mistake, and which is not good to confirm this kind of a thing, because this is an English word and clearly it has a spelling mistake. So it's not good to add this into the dictionary. But like as Sri Lankans, when we are writing our names, right? So if I type my name, sometimes it will take it. Yeah. Here it is taken because I have add this add my name to the dictionary. So some of the things are there. Yeah, so this kind of a one. So we can add these things into our dictionary, right? So it will be considered as a correct word when we are using it next time. Sanushi, I'm not getting what you are saying, Dua. Okay. You are talking about the COLOUR, the color. Yes. because the computer knows the color in this manner, COLOR, according to the American English, not into the British way. Right? So there are certain things goes like that. Right? And yeah, if I type something like this, right? So they're asking us to make it capital since it is a nation, right? If I change this R into a is, see, now it is giving me two double lines. It's kind of a blue line, which indicates there is a grammatical mistake, right? So when I'm right clicking on this, it suggests me what kind of a word that I can use. So I can go with the word are. So say we are Sri Lankans, right? So these kind of things can also be done with the review tab, right? So what you can do is you can select the document, or even without selecting, you can go to the review and you can go to the spelling and grammar mistakes. So it will indicate the things where I have gone wrong. And they are suggesting, they give the suggestions, what kind of changes that I can do. So they consider like having etc alone like this is not the correct way of applying it. It's better have etc and a dot. Or they are giving different kinds of names as well. Like a spelling mistake කියලා හිතලා each කියන වචනය අරගන්න, etic කියන වචනය අරගන්න, likewise ගන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා. Right, so I can use this particular one. So what I can do is I can simply click that, so it will be indicated, right? And yeah, here what they are saying is yes. Now the incorrectness that they are talking about here is the first letter of the insert coming with a capital. So they are suggesting it's better be simple. So I can change it as a simple. Right? So they goes their own way. Right? So they have captured the incorrect thing that we have done over here for this special. So they are suggesting it can be a special, it can be social. So take it as you want. Right? And again, they indicate this ratne in different kinds of way. So we don't need to change it over here neither. So we can ask to ignore it. So we can ignore it once. So color, yes. So I can ask it to do the changes as it wants. So it says Microsoft Word, they have done the spelling and grammar check is complete. So we can press OK in a very easy manner. Right, so that is how you are going to do your spelling and grammar checkout, or like we simply say proofreading, right? Like checking whether the document goes in the correct way. People, is that clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes.
Right, great. Okay, so now before I move to the mail merge part, there is another thing that they were talking, right? So which is called the print preview one, right? So earlier, in early versions, like starting from 2007, 2010, 2013, they had this a button called, or the command called print preview. But here in 2019 version, if you need to look how the printing is happening, like what kind of a printing will be there when I'm asked to print this. I have to go to the file and I have to go to the facility called print over here. So once I click print, it will allow me to do the settings or do the changes for the printed settings, as well as it will show me what is my preview is. Now this print previewing part is very important, people, because like it will show us how my output is going to be. Once I print it out from a printer, this kind of a thing that you are going to have. So it will show us many things, whether it is, like we can check whether that is the output that we are expecting. If it is not, we can change the things, right? Or we can change the page setup as well, right? Those kind of things can be done, right? And if you want, you can increase the size of these things, right? We can zoom it out. We can zoom out it, right? As well as from here, from these settings, I can change the way that the document is going to be printed. So this button will help you to do the printing. So if your computer is connected with a printer, it will instantly start the printing. All right, so it will print from this particular printer, right? The printer that is going to be print this document is selected over here. So if you have different printers in your network or which is connected with your document, you can choose a printer from here. Now by default, when it comes to the Word, they install this Microsoft Print to PDF and Microsoft XPS document writer, OneNote, those kind of things. So printing is not always allowing you to take a hard copy from a printer. Even you can convert this document into a PDF, into a different kind of file format using the printing as well. But not all the file formats are supported with the print. But you can convert this into a PDF. You can convert this into a OneNote file, which is given by the Microsoft Office package using the print option, right? But importantly, why we are coming to this place is because we need a hard copy of this particular soft copy. So once we are asked to print it from a printer, we will get a hard copy. So from here, I can choose how many copies that I need. And there is an important stuff that I need to show you over here. To do that, I need to do some changes in my document. I'm making this as a 2-page document. Right now, it has 2 pages. Right, first page has this and the second page has this. If I go and try to print this, it will show me like there are 2 pages. You can use these arrows to go around your pages. And when I'm increasing the number of copies, that means I'm instructing the printer to have more than 1 copy, to print more than 1 copy from this particular printer. So once I insert like increase in this is going to give me 4, there will be 4 set of copies which is printed by the printer. So the same document will be printed 4 times. And when you are printing it for 4 times, we can assist the printer how the printing should happen, because like the printer is capable of printing all 4 first pages first and all 4 second pages next, right? Which we call the uncollected way of printing, which indicates over here. If I choose uncollected, it's going to print the first pages, all the first pages first, then the second pages, then the third pages likewise, if the document has those pages. Now, it will be a little bit harder for us to assemble the copies together later if we print it as an uncollected one. But there will be situations which we need to be printed our document in this particular manner. But in most of the cases, we need it as a collected one. That means first set of copy first, then the next set, then the next set, likewise. Now I'm asking to print 4 copies from the printer. So I need the first copy first. So that means first page, second page, that is the first set will be printed. And the second copy. Likewise, it is the way we generally need it. So we can change that particular way, the way that we are going to, that way we are going to receive the copies from the printer, from this collected, uncollected facility, right? So then this will help you to determine like how many pages, or like what are the pages that you are going to print from your printer. Is it all the pages or the current page? Current page means the page that you are in, that you can see on the screen, or the custom print. Custom print will help you to print the pages randomly, right? Right. So if you have a different number of pages, you can say like print the first page, 4th page, and the 5th page, by indicating by separating a comma, likewise. So if your document has 10 pages, you can print 1st, 4th, and 5th like this. Or you can define a range. 2-5 means print from 2 to 5, right? Even you can give a range and the pages, 2 to 5 and the 7th page. Likewise, you can go on, right? So it will assist you in many different ways to choose what kind of pages, or what kind of what are the ways that you can need to print with your pages, right? And this will give you the chance of printing one side or print on both sides, but it is a facility given by the printer. If your some printers are there, they don't have the facility of printing both sides automatically. So in that case, you have to print a one particular side first, then you have to manually feed it for the other side to be printed. And there are a particular printers called duplex printers, which will print both the side automatically. So my printer has that capability, so I can choose whether this printing out should be happen just as a one-sided one or a both-sided one, right? So when you're printing both sides, there are 2 ways. One is called the long edge, other one is called the short edge, right? Again, long edge again print කරනකොට අපිට සාමාන්‍ය දකින්න හම්බෙන පොතක විදිහට දෙපැත්තට print වෙන්නේ. Short edge එකෙන් print කරනකොට art book එකක print වෙනවා වගේ. කියන්නේ කොලේ horizontal method එකකට ගෙනල්ලා horizontal book එකක් turn කරනවා වගේ තමයි print වෙන්නේ, right? And you can change the orientation from here as well. You can print it as a portrait one, you can print it as a landscape one. Even you can change the size from here as well as the margins. And even you can change how many pages per sheet should be printed. Even though your document has 10 pages, you can ask your printer to print 2 pages in a one single sheet, right? So it will be a 5-page document when you print it out, right? So likewise, if I choose 2 pages per sheet, your preview will not be changed, but once it is being printed, you will be getting only 1 sheet. Pages දෙකක් තිබ්බට එක page එකේ දෙන්නම print වෙලා යනවා, right? Like it shows in this preview. Okay, so yeah, we came to the position for the 446. So we started from 3:15 today. So it is because I need to end this by 4:46. So I'm going to end the session from here just for today, people. So by next week, I'm going to do the very last part, which is called the mail merging.
Sir,
And yes, Rison.
sir, as the note, can we write the shortcut keys table at home?
No, don't go for it, Rizwan, because I have to go through what are the things that if there is anything that need to be written before that, I have to go through it, Putha. So don't write it for the moment. Stay until the next week, right? So I will assist you what to be written. So for the moment, you just go through these things, right? And get ready to go with the mail merging, right? Meanwhile, if I got a chance, I will send you a small homework to be done. So then you can do it and send it to me so I can check it from the emails. Okay, so people, I'm going to end the session from here. Thank you very much for today, right? So the recording will be there on the web by tomorrow, right? So I'll see you on next week for the same time, like 3:25, right? Since the schools are starting, right? So thank you very much, everyone. Have a very nice weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Right, okay, people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Right,
Stay safe.
Rizwan.
Everyone's
Right,
nice.
okay. Right, okay, Rizwan. Thank you.
Everyone's